Hi everybody, this is Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading on Sunday. This is just another one of those evidence videos of the crimes that the criminals perform to my personal belongings. This chair was in excellent condition when I brought it out a couple of years ago. I painted it, I repainted it. Oh, here comes Miss Beeks. And the criminals intentionally punctured holes in the arms. They intentionally punctured holes in this arm, and they intentionally scraped off the paint. I mean, I'm only one person here. I don't weigh a lot. I don't have visitors. And this is what the criminals have done to this chair here as well. And I hope everybody's having a good day today. It's beautiful outside. It's a little breezy, which is nice. It's a nice change. I hope everybody in Florida stays safe. I heard that there's a hurricane approaching and that a state of emergency was called there. Please stock up on food supplies. All right, what do you think? Should we stock up on some food and supplies? And how about some chicken seed? Chicken feed? What do you think? Yes, Beeks? But welcome everybody to the channel. My name is Lorraine. I moved from Manalapan, New Jersey, in a house that I lived in for 30 years as the original owner. My stalking and harassment, vandalism, break-ins started there. I noticed it approximately 2012, some unusual things happening, and then in 2017, or I should say 14, 15, 16, 17, full-blown gang stalking. People like to call it gang stalking. That's a colloquial term. It is stalking. It's organized stalking. It's community stalking. It's predatory stalking by groups of people that are paid for hire. Murderers. They are paid to torment individuals for profit. Some of them are part of a cult, C-U-L-T. Some of them are Luciferian Satanists. Some of them are Masons. Some of them are police, retired military that have still held on to the security clearances. Some of them are private detectives. Many of them are your neighbors. Your neighbor's a recruiter. They sign national security letters, which is a gag order. They're all told a defamatory statement, and that statement comes out of your local fusion centers paid with your tax dollars. And the guinea hens say, we don't like that, right? We don't like that, right? We just want to live our life in peace. But these criminal losers have infiltrated every company, every ABC agency, our government. They are everywhere across. This is worldwide. So what is happening to me is happening now at least to 2 million people in the United States on a covert terrorist watch list. This is a secret government program they don't want anybody to know about. And anything that's done in secret, you know, is bad. When they approach the neighbors and tell the neighbors that they're performing an investigation, can you help us? I mean, come on, folks. It's been 10 years since you've been investigating me. There's no due process. Let's go to court. I've got a lot of evidence that I've collected, particularly against my neighbors down the block. They're actually criminals. They're actually have violated not only my constitutional and civil rights, but they have criminally trespassed my property at least 6 times. They have harassed workers on my property. Their dog has trespassed my property a minimum of 3 times. That's the new dog. The other dog trespassed my property many times prior. Their family has trespassed my property. They've shot a firearm. They've posted no trespassing signs on my property and pulled out a newly installed gate. These are all felonies, misdemeanors and felonies. They should be in jail. At the very least, I should have had the protective order that I requested from the sheriff's department, who's a sellout loser. Fortunately, he's retiring, but I'm sure he'll be in the background. Sheriff Paul Hayes. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Sheriff Paul Hayes. You know what the crimes are that are going on here. And you instead go along to get along, even though you are the law of the land. You are the sheriff. And the deputy is going to be the sheriff. And I know that our deputy has stalked me when I first moved here, because we caught him surveilling my property from the house diagonally across the street that was uninhabited at the time. So I hope that things are going to get better when the new sheriff takes office in January, but you never know. But this video is actually a little bit longer than I anticipated. I just wanted to show the evidence. This is what they do to my property. They want to make it appear as if I don't care for my property. Do you have any idea how much money I have spent on spray paint? I have spray painted that gate 5 or 6 times and they keep chipping off the paint. Anything I spray paint, they chip off the paint, like this chair here. They want to make everything look old. Oh, and this is something that they did Friday into Saturday night. Let me just walk over to the chicken coop, because now they've got an assault on the chicken coop. And I had a comment from somebody saying, you know, do you really think they sprayed those cobwebs all over the inside of your house? I said, yes, I do, because it was also all over the outside and nowhere else. So the criminals were here and they pulled the wood off here. I don't know if you can see that, folks. Yeah, they're stripping it. They're using some kind of a sharp object to cut into the wood to cause it to separate. And they're doing it throughout. And no, it's not because the wood is old. This is really, really hard wood. They actually did this over the summer. Cut into it here, cut into it here, and here. And if you knew the former owner that built this, he was immaculate, impeccable. Everything was perfect. And this is what the criminals have been doing. They have been cutting into the wood to cause it to crack. And yeah, and I find these pieces all over the place. These pieces of wood, because they're cutting into the wood just the way they did here, and just the way they did over here. These tree stumps that I have painted. You see, they cut in here and sliced all the way down. They sliced here, they sliced here, they sliced here. And they don't want you to see. They don't want you to know what they're doing. So right now, my camera is wobbling because they have control of my phone. They don't want you to see that this is not naturally occurring. This was done to the log. That means that somebody was trespassing. I am surveilled 24/7. And the reason for the surveillance is to design their torture and harassment psychological operation against me. That is why they watch you, because they have to copycat what you're doing. So when I took great care to paint this, this is what they did over a weekend. They sliced it. And you could see here, look at this. Shaving, 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 shaving. And they sliced it. They want it to fall apart. They want to make it look old. And they did it here too. And I apologize for the people that don't get this sort of vandalism. They tend to do it to people that own homes. It's not that they don't do it to rentals. They'll go into your house and poison your food and play with your food, puncture holes in women's panties and socks. But when you own a house and property, they destroy everything because they're evil. They're evil filth. They are disgusting criminals, and they are responsible for the downfall of our society, for this country that now everybody's experiencing. You know, it was that, you know, people would call us conspiracy theories. They were all conspiracy theories when we were speaking out against what was happening to us. There was even one YouTuber a year ago, I unsubscribed to him. He had the audacity to stick on his tinfoil hat and say something about targeting and stuff. I tuned him right out because he thought he knew what he was talking about, and he didn't. And actually everywhere that there is a green, the spray paint, is where they vandalized it. I did that for me. But now, you know, I'm in eastern Kentucky now. I'm in a remote rural area, but it happens here too. And it happens, it follows you wherever you go. If you're really a targeted person, it follows you wherever you go. If somebody says that they moved from one state to another and it didn't follow them, you're not targeted, folks. If you move from one country to the next and it stops, if it stops for a little while, you know, a few weeks, and then starts up again, you're targeted. If you think you escaped it and it stops, you're not a targeted person, folks. So anyway, this is how pretty it is today. It's very breezy. The sun is shining. We did have some rain earlier. I thought we had a lot of thunder, and I thought it was going to downpour, but it did not. And we don't have a lot of water now. This is the creek, or I should say the stream behind my house, and you could see that there's nothing here. There's no water. No water at all. You can see how dry it is. I filled up one of my little kiddie pools for the animals, but I feel bad because I did have, you know, turtles and fish and even little snakes and stuff, you know, little animals, and even the local possums and raccoons would come down here to drink water, and there's nothing for them to drink. So I moved this from the field, and the day that I moved it, I should say the next day when I woke up, they damaged this also. This doesn't happen naturally, folks. They actually sliced into it. See? And then they did it here too. They just cut it. They're evil. Just evil, evil people. They hate beauty. They hate joy. Anything that brings you joy. They destroy your food. And I watched another YouTuber who's a targeted person, a female, and she showed us how she was only gone for a short while, and they came in, these criminals came into her house and were in her refrigerator. And they do poison food. I planted some winter squash here. I wanted to see, it's the first time I'm planting a fall garden, but we did have some cold weather, and hopefully it's hardy, and you know, even if I get a couple of squashes from here, it would be nice. So yeah, I planted some winter squash, and I replanted my fig tree. This is the fig tree that was on my porch, and I've got another one that needs to be transplanted. And I actually have watermelon growing. We'll see what happens here, and some berries that I transplanted here. But the ground cherries that were really prolific, they don't like the cooler weather, so it's been colder overnight. When I say colder, it's been like in the 50s. And we haven't had a lot of water, so they're dying back a little bit here. But I hope everybody's having a good day. And I think this will be my last video for today, unless I've got something really important to say. I've been receiving a lot of questions and comments from people, and I apologize for not responding to everybody verbally. I like to do that because not everybody reads all the comments below. Sometimes people are listening to my videos in the car, or while they're cleaning their house or doing something else, and they just don't have time to read all the comments or, you know, my responses to them. So I do like to verbally respond to some really important questions and comments. I think it helps everybody who's in this predicament, if you know of somebody who you think is, and just don't go along to get along. Don't bow to these criminals, and don't be afraid. They are the cowards. They are the people hiding in the shadows. They are the people that won't show their faces. You need to stand up and be proud of who you are. And would you rather be a target or being the criminal performing the torture? I'll leave you with that question for the day. And this is Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading, signing off for today.